This
Guys,
conference will now be recorded.
All right, thank you to everybody for coming. My name is Crystal Schmick, and I am the president of the Rose Society of Tucson, and I want to say thank you all for joining us. This is our June meeting, our last one before summer break, and I don't know if y'all read the Thrift Hater, but in September when we come back, we're going to be in person! Everybody was supposed to get excited about that. Yay! Anyways, yes, we're really excited. We still need to get a few final details with the Tucson Botanical Gardens. If you are not comfortable attending anything in person, don't worry. We're still going to record the meetings and have them up and available so you can view them online, like we have been with all of this. But if you can join us, I would love to see you guys. I'm glad we're finally making enough progress that we can, start doing stuff like this again. I can't see everybody who's here, but do I have any new members, guests visiting us today? Speak up, anybody? No? All right. Well, if you are and I missed you, thank you for joining us. Les, can you give us?
Can you hear me, Crystal?
I can hear you. Would you like to tell us what to do over the summer?
Okay, well, it's probably better you don't have to look at me anyway. So, summer is pretty much about watering. That's the number one thing. So far, we haven't had the brutal temperatures, but I'm sure they're just lurking somewhere out there waiting to happen. Last year, by this time, we'd already had, I think, 9 or 10 days of over 100, and this year we've only had 2 that actually hit 100. So that's quite a bit of a help. The nights are still cooling off some, and that's also helps with the watering. But watering is the main thing, and you want to make sure you're watering deeply enough. If you're watering pots, you want to make sure you put enough on so that the water runs out the bottom every time you water it. I am watering every day in the pots right now. My business looked pretty good for going into the summer so far. Spider mites can be a big problem for a lot of people, and you should wash your roses off every morning. Make sure if you get up late and the hose gets hot, make sure you run the hot water out of it before you wash your roses, and try and spray up underneath the foliage. You can get sprayers, like Lou mentioned in the Thrift Hater, that you can put on a wand, and that helps you to spray up underneath. Mine are in pots, so they're high enough off the ground that I don't have much problem getting the plants good and washed off. Light feeding about once a month with Grow More or a water-soluble fertilizer is a good idea. You can also add in a little bit of an organic like Milorganite, or maybe a quarter of a cup to a third of a cup of blood meal around each of the bushes, and water that in thoroughly. Always remember when you're putting fertilizer on to make sure that the soil is not completely dried out before you put any fertilizers on. It's a good idea to water the plants, then put fertilizer on, and then water them again thoroughly. There really isn't much else, anything to do for the summer, other than try and keep yourself and your plants a little bit cool. If you want to try and build some kind of shade structure over them, something like 40 or 50% shade cloth, it will help them through the summer and help cut down the possibilities of sunburn. You want as much foliage on your plants as you can get, especially on the lower parts of the plant. You don't want the sun to be hitting on the lower canes. That's pretty much it, unless anybody's got questions.
What is the evidence of sunburn on roses? What do you look for on that?
Well, the leaves, sometimes they will have almost like a scorched area along the edges or even in the center. The canes, instead of being nice and green, will turn a yellowish color. and that's usually indicating that they're getting sunburned.
I have a question. Does anybody know have an explanation for the reason, besides the saguaros, why the roses were so gorgeous this spring? My roses were more beautiful and huge than they have been in years. And it just seems like after the horrible summer we had, what's going on?
Well, we had a very moderate winter, which the roses actually don't mind the cold. They could care less. But we had a moderate winter. We didn't have any super severe temperature swings during the February and March and early April growing season. So I think that helped. We didn't have a whole lot of wind like we've had a lot of springs. So, who knows? I mean, from year to year, you never know. But my roses were probably the best I've had in years.
Well, whatever it is, it was certainly nice.
Right. Don't complain about success, right?
No complaints, no complaints.
All right, any other questions? No?
Well,
Um,
everybody have a safe summer, and hopefully you've gotten your shots, and if not, please do so for your sake and for everybody else.
Yes.
Thanks, Les.
What? All right, thank you. All right. Any other questions? Oh. Looks like our presenter's getting ready. All right. Now, normally I would have Terry introduce the presenter, but Terry is the presenter. So Terry has put together a lovely presentation of all of the photos everybody has sent in of their gardens this spring, and we are going to share that. Terry, it is all you.
Can you see it, the screen?
Yes.
Now, can you see?
No.
Did you unclick the share your screen? There it is.
I clicked share screen.
Okay. Now, next to the that button next to the minus sign down at the bottom.
Okay.
Little on the PowerPoint screen.
The minus button?
Yeah, you see the minus button, the little icon next to the left of it.
Okay.
Over one. Nope. Next to it. Other way. Left. That one. There you go.
Do you guys see that?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So we're ready? So I want to thank everyone for sending in their pictures. We got some really nice pictures, and hopefully this will be entertaining. So here we go. So this is Marian Ecker's garden, and her first rose that we're seeing here is Ave de Cluny, a hybrid tea. Very nice shot. And if you want to say anything, Marian, about it as I go along, since it's your garden, do you want to unmute? Anything you care to say about this rose?
Not much to say except what was said before. They were just beautiful in the spring. Amazing. Every last bush put out amazing blooms.
Is this a fragrant rose?
Not nearly as much as some of the others.
Okay.
A mild.
And then here's your Easy Does It. That's a great picture.
Thank you. That one always takes great pictures.
I think because we are so dry that we didn't have near the thrip, because there were no wildflowers. So you didn't have a big population of thrip, and I think that really helped us a lot. Here's Pretty Lady Rose celebrating Downton Abbey. This is definitely a good rose for Crystal, because it's pink. And here's Snuffy. It's a nice color. And Moment's Notice, I'm not familiar with this one. Nice colors. And Oktoberfest, that's an old J&P. Those are probably getting harder to find now, aren't they?
I think so too.
And your colorific with a little B in there. And Broadway. And Memorial Day, fully blown. That's great color. And then Peace, of course. Okay, thank you. And now we have Angela Powers' garden, and here she is in amongst the Texas mountain laurel. Kind of a cute picture. And Gertrude Jekyll. And just another area. They're not always going to be roses, but I thought it'd be some nice pictures that people could appreciate it. And Intrigue. And I'm assuming this is Red Lion. It looks like one of those, an old variety of Amaryllis. And this one, I didn't get an ID on it, so anybody want to call it?
No.
Nope.
Is it All American Beauty?
I don't know. I don't know that
Maybe.
rose.
It's a hot pink hybrid tea
Mm-hmm.
that I see pop up all often.
And then the petals have an interesting quilling about them too. The way they point. Could be. We'll call it that. And we have another one that's unidentified. Any guesses? No? And of course, that's her with her tombstone rose.
That's nice.
And then we have Tony and Melania cuts. There's St. Patrick. Looks nice and healthy. That rose loves the heat. And Lida Rose, one of the top shrub roses now in the country. To me, it looks like apple blossoms. And the East Piaget, it's a hybrid tea, but it doesn't look like one. And then we have some of their irises. I thought that one has a nice color. And then we have Orange Crush. And Baby Grand, that's a great little mini. If you guys have grown it, that'd be a good one for you, Crystal. It's a nice kind of a shell pink, but it's still pink. Okay, now we have Lou and Diane Pavlovich and Crescendo. If you want to see how a hybrid tea is supposed to look when you're exhibiting, this is it. I mean, that's just a perfect center. And they use a nice black cloth in the back to get those colors to pop when they take their photos. Dina G, that's pretty spectacular. And then here's Sam, that's a good hybrid tea. Again, there's another pink one for you. And look at this one, like pinpoint center. Just gorgeous with that velvet red. Really spectacular. And then St. Patrick, beautiful color. And here's one of their exhibits with Dr. John Dickman and buttercream. Very, very nice, in a bowl. And then a standard rose bowl, look at that. You've got Crescendo, Randy Scott, Mohana, and St. Patrick. Just beautiful. Good work, you guys. And then this is the cottage. This is my house.
That's pretty.
So if you ever drive by, you know where I live. And this is a white licorice, a nice Floribunda. I think it's going to be a good show rose. And then I tend to have a lot of David Austins. This is Pat Austin, but I just love the form, the old-fashioned form, and I like the fragrance and the colors. And then the Squire, which is no longer in commerce, so if you can get a hold of one, good luck. But it's a good rose. It's a good exhibiting rose too. And Munstead Wood is like my new favorite. You get that magenta and that deep pink on the edges. It's really a nice rose. Very, very fragrant. This one's going out of commerce too, so if you want to get it, I would get it from maybe K&M Nurseries. They still have some in stock. Fortuniana. And Madame Hardy, one of my favorite OGRs. And another Guttrid Jekyll, probably the most fragrant rose in my garden. Just a spectacular bloomer. Not so much in the fall, but you can get fall bloom if you prune it hard enough. And Casino, this is a no longer in commerce climber, very fragrant, but I love the form and the color. And Molyneux, this one's probably going to get ready to go out of commerce, so it's a great rose, fragrant and beautiful color. If you want to get it, I would contact K&M and get it on Fortuniana.
Terry, where do you
And
get
go ahead.
where do you get Madame Hardy? Do you,
I got Madame Hardy from High Country Roses out of Colorado. And it'll be on its own roots, so. And this is an old clematis, but it does very well in our climate, Étoile Violette, which just means purple star. But I chopped this thing down to the ground, and look what it does. It just makes it mad. But it does well in the heat, so if you want to get a clematis and try it, this is a great variety, this old variety here. And it's just spectacular. And it's in a pot. And we have Crystal's garden. Yay! Any comments you want to make, Crystal, while we're going through your house?
This is, my garden's kind of divided up into sections. This is my I call it the side garden. The taller shrubs in the back are a Floribunda called Jean Borner. And in front of them is a miniature called Jilly Jewel. She does well in shows, and I actually won Best Novice and Floribunda Spray with Gene Borner. And then you can't really see them because they're so tiny, but there's 2 micro minis in the back called Baby Austin. And then I've got some carnations and alliums growing in there, along with like a hummingbird feeder and some bird baths. So that's my little side garden. Oleander's on the other side of the wall. So you like that? Okay.
That's your Gene
Jane Blue, yeah, she's probably my favorite rose bush. I won, like I said, I won Best Novice on my first show with her, and then I've done really well with the Floribunda sprays in shows. So, and that's also my favorite shade of pink right there. So, a lot of positives.
I think this is Jilly Jewel.
Yeah, she will put out sprays like you won't believe. Like some of the sprays get so many blooms on them, the canes start to bend. But that was my souvenir from my first show. We were selling rose bushes, and I bought a pair of Jilly Jewels as a memento. So also special. Yeah.
And Marshall, that's gorgeous.
That was a present from my grandmother. She found out I was getting into rose gardening, so every year she'll send me 2 bushes. And this is what she sent me last year. The stripes on her, once she gets established, are just amazing. But the blooms are just getting prettier and prettier. It's a really new rose. I think it's only been out for like 2-3 years now. No, 2 years. This is the 2nd year it's been in commerce, so it's a very new rose, part of an impressionist painter's collection out of a nursery in France. So
You got Little Texas.
yeah, so I don't have just pink roses anymore. I am actually originally from Texas, so finding the yellow rose of Texas was special, and I needed to do it. And my son is named Austin, so a little more special. And yellow is his favorite color, so it all just kind of came together for me.
Nice.
She doesn't have the best show form, but she's a fun little rose to look at.
And Dainty Bess.
Another present for my grandmother. If you don't know Dainty Bess, you're missing out. She's an awesome rose, and the red stamens, I think, are just, they're so unique and just sets her apart from everything. So
And that's
everybody
an old
loves
rose.
Dainty.
Isn't that from like the 1920s or 30s or something?
Yeah, she's a really old hybrid tea, and the fact that she's a single makes I think makes her a little even more unique. So she's been around a while, so she's tried and true. Sandy Miller had one of these, and she would dry it, and it's one of the most beautiful things that I've seen when she dries those roses. So
You usually see it on the show table, so it's a good one.
yes, it is. And that's the corner with Dainty Bess. You can see Texas in the middle, with Mark, and then the pink mini next to Texas is called Cupcake. I've got some snapdragons, mint, lavender in there. I've got a butterfly puddle. I just kind of try to make it with some yellow, pink and yellow accents there, just for fun. Yeah.
And here's Debbie DeNito's garden. Anything you want to say, Debbie?
Yeah, I moved a lot of roses around this year because some of them were not doing well in the areas they were in. So my spring bloom wasn't great this year, unlike everybody else's, unfortunately. But what I have there on the right, the pink rose there is Pretty Jessica. That's a David Austin rose. It's out of commerce, I think. It's been out of commerce for a while, but it takes that heat. And it is pretty much constantly in bloom, and it has a scent to die for. I'm sorry, that's the rose on the right there that you see. And then the rose on the left is Candace, which is from South Africa. She's not available in the US any longer. Further down past the iris on the left, I have to remember what my left and right is here. On the left is Munstead Wood, also great, as you said, great Austin rose. Really like that rose. I'm sorry, it's going out of commerce. And then I got little baby ones in there on the right that you really can't see because some of them are just small roses to begin with. I'm starting to collect the Seven Dwarf series, so I believe Sneezy or Doc, one of those is in there, which blooms like crazy. And then also, oh, what's the other one on there? It's a red one. I can't think. It's one of my very few hybrid teas. Not Austin, Ascot is also there, but not really in bloom yet. And then further down, you'll see a picture later of Borderer, which is a old garden rose.
So here's Dottie.
There's Dottie. That's a Dave Bang rose. It's new. She's pretty. She's adjusting to my yard. All of my new roses this year, I had 3 or 4 new ones. They all got spider mites really bad. None of my other roses had them. All my new ones did. I guess they're learning the climate here. So, but she's a good, healthy rose, and lots of basil breaks and canes, new canes coming up on her. She's en route.
I noticed that K&M now is selling Dave Bang roses.
Yeah.
He's got some spectacular stuff. I wasn't familiar with him until you started sharing your pictures here.
Yeah, no, he's great. He's super sweet, super nice, and has a slew of Dave Bang roses as well as other ones. He's really wanting to become a major player in the rose industry, and just the nicest guy possible. When I talked to him on the phone, I think I talked to him on a Thursday. My roses were in the mail on Monday to me, and I think I got them like Wednesday. I mean, it was amazing.
Nice. Here's Connie Sandstorm.
Yeah, that's a Burling Leon rose. Burling's about 60 miles south of me. And it's considered sort of a tan mauve colored rose. In fact, she's got a beautiful bloom on her today. Can take the heat, very healthy. It's a good, I think this is the first year she's bloomed for me. So I think I'm really going to enjoy her.
Nice. And Violet Hour, that's beautiful.
Yeah, Violet Hour, she glows. I mean, just the petals on her glow. Gail Trimble is the breeder for that one. She's up in Marin County, and she hand-delivered this to me. I couldn't believe it. This rose is now being carried by Burlington Nursery down in Visalia, and it's a nice rose. It's a miniature rose, lots of blooms on it, very healthy. She's going through her tests right now to see if she can take the climate from Marin down to Fresno, because, gee, we're only like 108 today, so very different weather than what's up in Marin. So we'll see how she does. But so good, knock on wood.
And there's your Munstead Wood.
There's my Munstead Wood, and the camera never ever catches the red on there quite, or at least the phone camera never really gets the red right on there. It's such a deep burgundy color, and it comes out more fuchsia.
I think that's typical.
She who shall not be named because she starts talking. Alexa, stop. Thank you. I have no idea what started her off. Anyway, so anyhow, I really like this rose. It's really, actually, I call it a he. He's a good rose.
I think digital cameras struggle with red. I think if you have actual film, they get the red colors much better.
Yeah.
And Minnie Mouse, that's a cute one.
I love Minnie Mouse. I just love it. This one's the San Magriti rose from Australia, and the bees just love her. And her striped pinkish red and white just reminds me of Minnie Mouse's dress. And it's just a great rose. It's known as Minnie Mouse in Australia. I like the name. Here it's known as roller coaster in the U.S., probably because Disney would have a fit. As far as I'm sure Minnie Mouse's name is, copyrighted.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, but she's a great rose. She can take heat. She is constantly in bloom. She makes great hips. She was used for breeding with several, for several other roses. She's a mini climber.
And that's a beautiful color.
That is another Dave Bang rose. That is Mango Blush. And just healthy, other than the spider mites. Loved this one this year, but finally got rid of them. And this one just going like crazy, going in the heat. Nothing really seems to phase it. It's a very healthy rose.
Is it fragrant?
I don't believe so. I don't recall a fragrant on that one or on Dottie or even on Connie's Sandstorm.
Okay. And Flamingo Dancer.
That is another Berlin Leon rose, and this one has a mild fragrance. It's a climber, and it again takes the heat and just keeps on blooming. Very healthy rose. It, as I said, it's a climber. Floribunda, it's great.
Beautiful.
Really pretty. Sometimes she'll throw out some singles, but yeah, nice rose.
And then we have an entry from Tabby Hobenstad. It's her English heirloom rose, Earth Angel. I don't know much about it, but it's nice. And that's all I have for you. So, do I give it back to you, Crystal, or what do I do here?
I think I can take it away from you. Let's see here.
Take it away.
Take it away. It's all mine.
There we go.
All right.
So thank you,
Well,
everyone who contributed.
It was
Yeah,
really
thank
nice.
you. Yeah. All right. Does anybody have any other questions or anything they want to address?
Wanted to tell Terry thank you. That's a lot of work that he put into that. People have no idea when you put together a PowerPoint like that, how many hours and hours and hours it takes. So thank you, Terry.
You're welcome.
Yes, thank you.
It's actually fun. It's fun to do.
And thank you for all the people who submitted their roses. That was lovely.
Yes, that really made it nice.
Yes, thank you. All right.
Well,
Well-
fast.
All right. If nobody's got anything else to add, Marion,
Sandy
are you
does.
trying to?
Sandy
Oh.
has something.
Can I ask a question?
I'm sorry.
Oh, that's fine.
Absolutely. Go for it.
I have a new Sally Holmes and seems to be doing great, and bloom. But I noticed that the bottom leaves have been turning brown. bottom leaves. And I don't know if it's because the sprinkler, I don't know what it is. I just wonder what your thoughts were.
I think it's just old leaves. If they're down at the bottom there, probably the
Mhm.
primary leaves from the springtime, and they wear out. You tend to see a lot of in centers of roses, the leaves will turn brown or yellow. But as long as the new growth is still healthy, that's all you really need to care about.
Okay, good news, thank you.
All right. Anybody else want to speak up? Say anything? No? All right. Well, thank you for coming. Thank you, Terry, for putting that together. It was lovely, and I'm glad we got to talk about our roses like that. I'll see you guys in September in person.
Hey,
All right, so stay tuned for updates. And if you can get your vaccine, guys, let's do this. I miss you guys. I want to see you guys in person, and hopefully end out my term, not on a tablet. So I'll yeah. Have a good summer. Stay hydrated, and I'll see you in the fall. Okay.
Right.
stay
Okay,
safe,
bye,
everybody.
guys.
Bye.